In the mid-90s, KOEI saw an empty market niche that they decided needed filling, and that is game consoles that only play the board game Go. So in 1996, Japan got the KOEI PASOGO. The name comes from Pasokon, which means personal computer, and, well, Go, which is Go in Japanese. So PASOGO is personal Go. Now the first thing you'll notice when you look at this thing is, well, actually, it looks like it's been through some things. But the second thing you'll notice is the screen is huge. Or maybe you won't, because handheld gaming screens are huge now. But in the 90s, I mean, this was the competitor at the time. The Game Boy Pocket came out the same year. The PASOGO screen is about 4 times the size of the Game Boys, and the system itself is about the same height, but 3 times as wide and almost twice as thick. So if you go by the size, you're getting 6 times the console, right? Well, KOEI thought so. Both of these systems came out in 96. You could pick one of these up for 6,800 yen, or a KOEI PASOGO for 39,800 yen. Nearly 6 times the price. I wonder why you've never heard of it. Only 11 games ever came out for this thing, and I've only got 3 of them, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough. The boxes are color-coded. There's green, there's blue, there's red, and one random black one. The green ones seem to be ones that teach you how to play, in this case by giving you a bunch of puzzles that you have to solve. The blue is to play against an AI or a friend, or maybe both, or maybe just one or the other, I'm not really sure. I think the red ones are interactive playthroughs of famous Go games, and the black one is the system itself feels pretty cheap and nasty, actually. They've borrowed X and circle from PlayStation. The D-pad's just a generic rocker circle thing. We've got an on-off switch on the front here. Contrast, DC 6-volt input. The cartridge slot reeks of just not really caring. You can see the motherboard and you can actually reach in and touch the chips if you want to. On the back is the battery cover, 6 AA's, apparent life of 20 hours, which is pretty good. Now, no, I'm not really expecting this LCD to work. I'm expecting to have to fix it. But before I even start, I want to try playing a game and see what happens. Got a game cartridge in here, which is still in its original plastic. That's pretty fun. I think there are slight marks on the contacts, so it probably has been played, but maybe like once. Here's the manual, which doesn't help me because my Japanese does not accommodate reading such things. Ooh, I wonder if I can send this back on warranty. The cartridge seems to go in with the label towards the screen. Oh, that feels awful. I actually did manage to find an original power adapter for this. Now, all I want is a beep. If it beeps, then it's got to work, right? Oh, the screen, it beeped. The screen changed. Something changed on the screen. Oh, wow. Wow, I can actually see something. I honestly didn't expect this to come up with anything at all. I thought this LCD was beyond stuffed. The game is definitely playing around the outsides of the hideous purple blob. Now I have to disclose that I'm not entirely confident that this is going to be repaired. I know it needs a new polarizer, but I have no idea which type, so I ordered a sample pack, and the one that looks the purplishest is not big enough to fit this. I also have no idea if this LCD is going to come apart without ruining it. So this is going to be a bunch of interesting. Kind of looks like there's, oh, there was, oh, I broke the clip. This plastic is a lot more brittle than I had thought it was. Oh, I'm breaking more clips. Oh well, I got this thing really cheap. I think it was like $5 on Yahoo Japan auctions. Obviously it's in bad shape. And look at all this rust in here. I could smell something kind of acidic when I took the battery cover off. Delicious. Man, yeah, that acidic smell is really there. These are really weird buttons. I've never seen these before. Does this lift? That, okay, that's the screen cover. That lifts off. Yeah, it's a real vinegary sort of smell, which is pretty consistent with LCDs disintegrating. Wow, that's a heaps long ribbon cable. I've never been able to take an LCD this far away from the motherboard before. It's actually really useful. Hitachi. So it's a Hitachi LCD screen, and I can't unplug the ribbon, it's soldered on, which is possibly why it's so long. There's a capacitor sticky taped to the board and soldered across the battery compartment here. They must have had problems with voltage spikes when people connect and disconnect batteries or something. Remove seal after washing. Okay, so during manufacturing, all the stuff's soldered on, and then they put it through a wash bath to get rid of all the flux and stuff. This is actually a speaker with a hole in the top to let the sound out. They come with a label like this so you can wash it without filling it with the solvent you're using. The beep when I turned it on was plenty loud enough, so maybe they decided that they'd overdone it with the speaker a bit and to just leave that on there to fix it. We've got one factory bodge wire, which means they got the design wrong and had to fix every single PCB after it was manufactured. There's a provision for an LED here, which is probably a power light that got dumped for cost cutting. And this LCD is a 5.7-inch stock as 320 by 240 portable computer screen from back in the day. This guy here is the star of the show, and along with the giant LCD is the reason why this thing costs nearly 6 times as much as a Game Boy. This is a Vardum VG230 one-chip PC platform. This is 8086 compatible, which means this thing has 16-bit x86 architecture. This thing could literally run DOS if it was wired up correctly, and I'm not going to do it. But the thing is, that's not cheap. The Game Boy had a 160 by 144 resolution. This thing has 320 by 240. This has a 16 megahertz 16-bit CPU. The Game Boy has a 4.2 megahertz 8-bit CPU. This has 1 megabyte of RAM. The Game Boy has 0.016 megabytes of RAM. But isn't that overkill for a system that only plays a board game? Well, not really. We take for granted nowadays that computers can just play chess and Go and whatever other board games you can think of. Everything is within its ability. The Philips VideoPack G7000, aka Magnavox Odyssey 2, got this massive expansion module which connects to the back just so that it could play chess. By the 90s, sure, home consoles did have enough power to play chess, but there are way more combinations of moves in Go than there are in chess, mostly because of the 19 by 19 grid it's played on, whereas chess is played on 8 by 8. So that's where the processing power has to come in, and also why it has a huge LCD screen. The Game Boy resolution just couldn't support a 19 by 19 grid. So it starts to become a little bit clearer why KOEI thought they might give this a go on the market. Go is a popular game in Japan, and you couldn't get a good experience on any other portable game console. Let's see what's on the other side of this board. Here it starts to get a little bit trickier. Oh look, I can actually unplug the LCD, that's good. These are our RAM chips, 0.5 megabyte each, couple of logic chips, a voltage regulator to make sure everything gets a stable voltage, and these holes here reek of a manufacturer who don't know if they're going to have to add components. They connect to nothing, they're just so that you can solder a component in and then wire to it. They're normally exclusive to prototyping boards, so that's pretty funny that they're on this, and funnier still that they added a capacitor and didn't use them. The chips on the back of the LCD are all just driver chips to control different parts of the LCD. The assembly itself is held together with all of these bent bits of metal. There we go. Ah, that's annoying. I hoped it was just these zebra connectors on both axes, but I've got a ribbon here that's just glued down. I'm gonna have to try and work on this without damaging that ribbon. As well as that, the polarizing layers are held on with adhesive. This is gonna be fun. First, I'm gonna warm it up a little bit with my heat gun, trying to keep off that ribbon there. There's really only gonna be one shot at this. I don't expect to be able to find a replacement LCD for a PASOGO. Actually, that's peeling off really easily. Okay, good. Is the back one stuck on with adhesive? Of course it is. I hope this ribbon doesn't come off. It could be game over if it does. The thing is, this has been here for a very long time. I don't trust that the adhesive on it is okay, and I'm gonna have to bend it a freaking 180 degrees to peel the backing off of it. Here goes. Please don't separate. Please, please, please. Okay, give it a bit of warmth. Maybe, yeah, sure. Isopropyl alcohol, why not? Oh, don't pull on that ribbon. Well, I got that off. I have no idea if I've damaged that or not. I'm gonna have to clean that though. How do I figure out which polarizing layers I even need? Put that in there. It's hard to see because of how ruined this one is, but it should go black when I turn it 90 degrees. So it's clear at the moment. I turn it 90 degrees, it goes dark. I'm kind of expecting that this is the same stuff and I don't have enough. Yeah, clear, dark. But I don't know if it needs to be that stuff. Some of these won't work at all, like this one's not working properly. So these polarizing sheets, they align the light in a certain direction, and then the LCD does that again, and then the backing does it again, or something, something, something. If you've got light coming through at this angle, and then you're trying to get through a hole this angle, it doesn't work. The LCD flips to a hole this angle, so the light goes through, or something, something. I've tried to explain this before, and I don't think I've got it right, but that's the basic gist. The only one that I actually have that's large enough to do the screen is this backing. I've got this polarizing sheet, which matches it with 90 degree polarization, but have a look, I've got this one as well, but this is a 45 degree polarization. So if the LCD itself is 45 degree, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. And also, none of these sheets are actually adhesive ones, so that's fun too. Put that in there. You can see how the LCD screen is the inverse of the backing, but does it go that way? Or does it go this way? Or is it a 45 degree one? I don't know how to tell if it's a 45 degree one. I think it is 90 degree. Look at this. It definitely goes darker at 90 degrees. That's comforting. That means this stuff should work, maybe. It's not gonna be the purple because I don't have enough purple, but at least it should play and I can order some more purple later. I'm liking how the adhesive is barely moving with isopropyl alcohol. Thank you for that, Hitachi. I have regrets about using isopropyl alcohol in the first place because the other side came off perfectly. Now I need to do some live testing. I don't know how good this is gonna show, but... Oh yeah, It's inverted. I've got it the wrong way around. Look at that. You can see it. I gotta push down on the glass up here because the zebra connector doesn't make contact unless it's got pressure on it. So hopefully I don't break the panel. Do I want that one? Or do I put it... Oh dear, I'm getting excited and I'm trying to go too fast. Align, Mr. Zebra. Align. Yeah, I swear that with the top one at 45 degrees, but the bottom one at 90 degrees, it looks the best. Maybe I'm using some of this and some of this to make a this, even though I think it's meant to be a this, which I swear still looks better at 45 degrees, even though the original I don't think was at 45 degrees. I've decided to go back to the original orientations of the polarizing layers, and to confirm it, I've got the old backing next to the new backing, and turning the original front makes them both act the same way. They go dark in this orientation. That means I've got this backing the right way up. Then doing the same thing with the new front polarizer means that that has to go this way up. I've just kind of overlapped the frame with the corner of the polarizing layer, so that when I trace around it, it's going to be slightly smaller than the outside of the frame. The reason why I've got these polarizing sheets which aren't quite right for this is because I bought the stuff that was for fixing Game & Watches. I wanted to fix the rest of mine after fixing my helmet with that less than ideal eBay set. With that cut out, that goes in there, and it can't move around. For the backing, I'm gonna have to actually measure it because there's nothing I can trace around here that will help. My next problem is going to be holding this sheet up against the glass, assuming it actually fits in there at all. It does, so that's good, but I don't want this just rattling around in there. Normally on LCD panels where this is not adhered to the glass, they use a sheet of foam just to squash it all together and hold it in place. I don't have anything like that. The nearest thing I found was this weather stripping, which was supposed to be destined for my back door. I had hoped that I could even use this stuff, but this is called closed cell foam. It's where all the bubbles hold the air when you squish them, so they push back. Open cell foam doesn't push back so much, and that's what this needs. Otherwise, it's going to be stressing the glass. I had originally planned to stick this foam to the PCB and not the back of the polarizer, but if for some reason this doesn't work out and I need to remove this foam, it's going to be way nicer to deal with the adhesive on the back of the polarizer than on the back of the PCB. Now, I should be able to peel off the reflective plastic. Zebra connector on. These are called a zebra connector because if you look really close, you can see stripes of conductive and then non-conductive material. It's actually a whole series of connections straight through to the PCB from the LCD. Hopefully this is the last time bending that ribbon cable. You know, I actually think I have to trim this a little bit. Leave me alone. Rulers are hard to use, alright? They got numbers and stuff on them. Yeah, the top. Oh, it looks shiny without that on there. Wow, that's a strange color. I may end up getting the correct colors for this, but for the moment, let's just see how this works. That crunch was terrifying. I feel like the glass is gonna break the entire time I'm doing this. Okay, please just work and have all the lines. That would be nice, thank you. Oh, it doesn't have all the lines. It does work. I think the zebra is not getting pressed quite hard enough in this exact spot just here. Okay, that got rid of that one. There's one over here still. It doesn't seem to go away no matter what I do. Did that have a missing line before is a good question. No, it did not. I guess I need to open this and clean the zebra. There was a little dirty mark here about where the middle two missing lines were, but I'm not really seeing anything where that single one was. There's 320 of these tiny contacts here, and each one is responsible for a vertical line. So if you have one of those obstructed, you're gonna have a line out. The ribbon has 240 connectors, one for each horizontal line. So at least the ribbon cable was working. Oh, I just got such a fright just then. I heard the peel sound, something lifted up, but it wasn't the ribbon, it was just the polarizing layer. My heart rate's going. Let's try again. Boy, that's heaps worse. What the heck? Maybe I shouldn't have used ISO on that edge. God, that's not a happy. It's not a happy. Okay, all right. I think I figured it out. The zebra connector is too close to the edge of the LCD, so I can slowly make it better and very quickly make it worse. Opening it up again. I love this. I love opening it up repeatedly. This metal isn't going to keep bending back and forth forever. It's going to break eventually. And the longer I stuff around with this, the higher the chance of snapping the glass. It's really not that much fun. I've got all the lines! All of the lines, they're all there. What a pain that was. Maybe I won't be changing this to a purple polarizer because that was miserable. Hey look, 2 more bodge wires to fix factory stuff-ups. I'm halfway through putting the thing back together. This was supposed to just skip to a let's play, but I figured I'd test it just to make sure, and now I'm missing some horizontal lines. That's the ribbon cable. I tried wiggling it a little bit just to see if I could make it work better, and lost more lines. It was only missing one to begin with. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm starting to hate this LCD, and I did discover that you can buy brand new ones on eBay. It's just that they cost more than another PASOGO. I'm trying to fix a problem which I shouldn't be able to fix, and even if I can fix it, I'm still going to have more problems with that zebra connector because I've just undone all the work I've done. The problem with trying to repair these ribbons is that they're not soldered on, they're connected with a bonding machine with special conductive adhesive. Sometimes you can get away with just heating them down a bit. People repair original Game Boys that way. I'm just going to touch the soldering iron to the edge of the ribbon here to see if it'll even withstand the heat. Oh, it doesn't. It disappears. Well, I can't heat that with a soldering iron. That would be a terrible idea. What's the minimum temp on one of these? All right. I can actually use a temperature which isn't going to melt this. It actually does it. I've never had to go so low on a soldering iron before. This is a Pine 64 Pine Sil soldering iron. I'm actually really impressed by this thing. If you're looking for a low-cost soldering iron that can do professional work, I would grab one of these. And I'm not sponsored, I just like it. Yeah, that hurts me, but it doesn't melt the solder, so it's not getting that hot. Will it melt the plastic? No, it doesn't. Okay, I feel a bit happier about putting some heat into this ribbon now. I'm basically just ironing it, just like a clothes iron. People used to use those, right? Okay, so I seem to have fixed some lines. I've only got one bad line left now. Can I do anything about it? Yes, but it's also making more lines. There we go. They're all gone. Oh, there's one more. Can't believe this is actually working. I was so devastated when that came up with horizontal lines missing, and all I have to do is just waste a whole bunch more of my time. I'm just moving it around and see it until I see a line flicker, and then I move it slow until the line goes away, and I just stop there for a while to let the heat soak through. I think I'm gonna go along the whole thing and see if I can find any others, because this is actually quite an easy thing to do. For those of you fixing Game Boys this way, you should get one of these soldering irons. 90 degrees. Doesn't melt the plastic at all, just fixes the problem. It's cooled down now, so I'm just going along the ribbon with something plastic so I can see if there are any more flickers, and I reckon that's successful. I just have to deal with the stupid zebra again now. I'm finally actually putting this thing back together, and I've just noticed there's only 2 screws in the screen, and it probably is supposed to have 4. There are screw holes here, but they've never had screws in them. The holes down the middle are just smooth. The only thing stopping the screen from flapping about like this is the front cover. Finally, let's go. So this is Go Problems Volume 1. It gives you a bunch of Go puzzles you have to solve. Numbers? I'm gonna go with 1, I think. Now, I'm pretty much a Go professional, and by that I mean I've watched about 5 minutes worth of how to play on YouTube. I've never played a Go game in my life, and I don't actually know what color I am. There? Oh no, that's a complicated menu. What about circle? Motoyoku, I don't know. Okay, alright. I thought I was just going to be putting tiles down. Outer stone. Yeah, push the directions, press the circle button to place a stone. See if this can actually read the screen. Oh, it does seem to be able to. How should I play to kill white? I need to press circle. What does that mean? Think better. Oh, it means I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so I've done a bit of translating. I'm black. I have to defeat white. It appears that I can't just put stuff anywhere. I can put one there. Oh, I don't know if that was a good thing to do or not. Does this mean I can just choose every square and then eventually it'll let me do one? How can I think better when there's no square that I can choose? Oh, in there? Did I win or did I lose? I think I lost. That's correct! I did it! I just didn't even know. Next puzzle. Kill the white piece with a clever move. But I don't know any clever moves. I had to brute force level 1. Go is kind of a territory war. You normally start off with a blank board. You're basically trying to make territory borders with your stones to try and get more territory than your opponent. If you manage to surround a group of your opponent's pieces, you claim that space. I'm definitely oversimplifying. It takes a lot of time to learn how to play this properly, and I haven't done that. It's changed the translation now. Please kill the white one with the my procedure. There are a whole bunch of different names of different procedures in this game, and I don't know any of them, so I think I'll just brute force this one as well. Did I do it? This is a live Oshitsubushi fish. It's a failure. Let's try Game Kun 1. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to mean because kun is an honorific like Mr. or Mr, except for normally reserved for males of lower status than you are, although it seems like it can be used for cute or friendly things as well, so I'm not really sure. Perhaps they're just trying to go for a non-threatening version of Go. Beep. It sure does have sound. Oh, I think it's already started me against the CPU. I guess I must be white. Black goes first in this game. So can I put one here? Yeah, I can. It's loading the next move. It's thinking. Oh, it's thinking. All right. Are we ready to... There we go. Man, even with 1 billion times more processing power than the Game Boy, it still needs ages to think about a decent Go move. Wow. Yeah. Oi! It took my piece! I think 10 minutes of YouTube might not be enough to become a professional Go player. This space in here, I can't put anything there anymore. That belongs to the enemy now. If I try, it'll say, oi, nah, you can't do that. Oh no, it's giving me menus. What have I done? And that's because if a piece went there, it would just be taken immediately by the black. So you can't do that. Well, I don't think I've got any chance of winning. So I'm gonna set my goal really low. And if I can take one black piece, I'll be happy. That'll be a win for me. Oh, don't put it there, don't put it there. If they put it anywhere else, I can take the black piece. Oh, they took my black piece. I didn't see that coming at all. I am so bad at this. Oh no, they broke out. Hey, I didn't think you could do that. I guess I just don't understand the rules properly. Oh! Every time I think that I'm gonna get something done, it does something that I never saw happening. I was gonna put one here, take this group, but no, I didn't take into account the ones on the other side. So all my pieces got taken, and now I've increased their territory massively and can't do anything about it. In fact, I have no territory. All my territory is just the spaces where my white pieces are. Can't this CPU just like ignore me for a little bit? They've made this very, very seriously playing. And I'm not very, very seriously playing. Watch. Black one's gonna go here. I'm making predictions. It didn't. Four! See what I mean? Every time I think I'm gonna do something good, I just... my predictions are so far off. It ends up with me failing miserably. It's realized I'm trying to make a circle over here. Ooh! Am I about to take some pieces? I took some pieces! Oh, that's a win for me. I'm calling it. I won that game, definitely. All right, so it's working perfectly. It's all fixed. Here's your before and here's your after. The LCD is now Game Boy pea soup flavored and the build quality on the whole thing is overall pretty poor. But this thing could actually be the most powerful handheld game console that was sold in the 90s. It might also be the first time a handheld game console had PC architecture. It's pretty much a Steam Deck. It's just a shame they didn't release anything other than Go on it. If you wouldn't mind, can someone please make some homebrew for this? I think it would be interesting to see what else this can do. I would open up a cartridge and show you what's in there, but they glued them together and I don't want to destroy them. And that's it, the KOEI PASOGO. If you want ad-free early access to my videos as soon as they're ready to upload, join me on Floatplane for $2.50 a month. I also collect tons of video games. You'll also see a photo of every single thing I get, or if you only want the photos, you can join me for $1 a month. The link's in the description, I'll see you there.